positively provides information about HIV. Talk with your medical provider before making medical decisions.
We kind of have a second chance of life because then we can monitor our health, and by taking the meds every day, it's very easy. The side effects are really not that severe. I mean, diarrhea isn't really that big of a deal to me versus dying, not being able to eat or things of that nature.
Maybe managing HIV isn't tops on your list. You may have other things you're worried about, so you're missing doctor appointments and forgetting to take your medicine. What's holding you back is personal. Try talking to a case manager about what's blocking you. Ask your healthcare provider to refer you. Most HIV health workers can help you find a case manager. Get inspired by what's most important to you. It may be cooking, getting together with friends and family, music, worship, hobbies, working out at the gym, or even helping others. Whatever gives you joy. Maybe there's something you've always wanted to do. Now is the time to start. Some people find it's a real boost to be connected with other people who have HIV. Clinics that get money from the government have consumer advisory boards you can join. Clinics also offer HIV classes where you can share stories with people who have problems like you. Contact the local Ryan White office or your city or state health department for more information.
I was 17 years old, waking up in a hospital from a stroke, and they said that I was HIV positive. And that's when my life flipped upside down. I didn't have sex, I didn't have any tattoos, I didn't use drugs. So the only possible answer was that I contracted it from my mother during birth. I know she breastfed me, so I don't know if it passed through her breast milk, but it could have, or during the birthing process. So that's when I actually contracted it, and she never told me.
Worrying about whom to tell that you are HIV positive and when to tell them can really stress you out and interfere with managing your HIV. Disclosure is personal. You have to decide for yourself. Take your time and think about it for a while. Talk to other HIV-positive people. Generally, disclose to people you can count on to support you. People you can count on not to tell others. It's painful if family members reject you. HIV stigma sometimes begins at home. A lot of stigma comes from their fear of HIV. The more you teach your family about HIV, the better. They should know how hard it is to catch. Show them Section 3 of the series, called How People Get HIV. That should help them understand. If you want to have a baby and you're HIV positive, talk with your provider. You want to keep yourself, your partner, and the baby safe. You don't want your baby to get infected with HIV. Tell your HIV provider as soon as you know you're pregnant. Your clinic can help you find a provider who specializes in HIV and pregnancy. There are things you can do to protect your baby. Take your HIV medicine. Don't breastfeed. Get the baby in HIV care as soon as it's born. If you do these 3 things, your baby has a good chance of not getting HIV from you.
If you find out you're positive, take a breath, step back, and use the resources that are available today that we didn't have 30 years ago.
Should you keep working? Generally, yes. You're likely to live a long time. You're going to need the money. True, HIV can feel like a bad flu at first, but this isn't the 80s. People are focused on living with HIV. You do have some extra concerns, getting to your medical appointments, taking medicine, and dealing with any side effects, but lots of people with HIV have jobs.
Because of taking care of myself, I've become more involved with my community. Because I've taken care of myself, I'm here today to tell my story. And it's a lot brighter. The future's there.
In romantic relationships, the honest thing is to tell your partner about your HIV. In some states, it's against the law not to tell your partner. HIV will not kill your buzz. There are a lot of things you still can do. The most important thing is to use condoms every time. If you're practicing safe sex but something goes wrong, like maybe the condom breaks, let your provider know immediately or go to an emergency room. If you act fast, there is medicine your partner can take for protection. If you have HIV and your partner doesn't, your partner might want to take medicine to prevent getting infected. This isn't for everyone, but your partner can talk with their provider. Keep everyone safe.
I think a well-facilitated support group to which one can bring the whole of yourself, especially a place where you can bring your questions, your fears, the anxieties you might have, and get support and answers, and maybe some hope. I think that support groups can be very important.
HIV can make you feel worried, sad, and angry, and advanced HIV/AIDS can cause dementia. Also, bad feelings can get in the way of managing your HIV. A case manager can help you find a therapist. Medicine for your emotions may also help. Other things to improve your mood. Set goals. Be around upbeat people. Get involved in things you love to do. Explore your spirituality. And help others. You can also turn to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI. There are NAMI chapters in every state.
It didn't come out like diabetes, you smoke, you get cancer. It was like, oh, if you're gay or if you use drugs, and people didn't want, especially in some communities, they don't want you to know that they're gay, or they don't want you to know they're on drugs, or they don't want you to know that they are promiscuous, or whatever, however they contracted it. They don't want you to know that about them. And because it came out like that, and it made it a stigma.
If you use injection drugs, don't share needles. If you have HIV, you could give the HIV to someone else. Or you could catch another type of HIV that's much harder to treat. You could also get other infections, like hepatitis B or hepatitis C, that make you sick and make your HIV harder to treat. Some places have syringe exchange programs. If you can't get clean needles, learn how to clean them the right way. Street drugs and alcohol can also distract you from using a condom. If you don't use a condom during sex, it's the same danger as sharing a needle. Also, if you take street drugs or drink a lot, you may have trouble remembering to take your HIV medicine. Some HIV providers are uncomfortable prescribing HIV medicine if you're using. There's too much risk. You'll skip pills and the pills will stop working. If you want to control your HIV, try to get clean. If you want to get clean, a case manager can help find a treatment program. Or ask your local health department or clinic to point you to nearby alcohol or drug treatment programs.
Thankful that I had people around me to get me through it and steer me in the right direction, whether they were, they may not have been my biological family, but if it wasn't for those individuals keeping me calm, I don't think I'd be sitting here today.
People with HIV are more likely than others to be homeless. Illness and stigma may make it hard to hold a job. High medical costs can cause people to lose their homes. Almost half of people with HIV have been homeless or have felt at risk of losing their home. But even if you're homeless, HIV medical care and HIV medicine is there for you at little or no cost. People living on the street have to battle extreme weather conditions and are more likely to use street drugs, have mental health problems, and experience violence. This makes it even harder to get HIV medicine, take it on time every day, and find the food that should be taken with some medicine. Even though affordable housing is hard to find, keep trying. Your case manager may be able to help you. Check out a program called HOPWA, Housing Opportunities for People with HIV/AIDS. The website is on the screen.
At first, I only told my very closest friends, my favorite auntie, my brother. I didn't tell all of my siblings. I didn't tell all of my relatives. But I made a list of everyone I told. And as the list grew and grew, I stopped writing names down and I just told everybody.
Stigma is a mark of shame. Stigma against people with HIV comes in the form of hostility, prejudice, and discrimination. Stigma is driven by fear. People are afraid of catching HIV. Stigma is also driven by ignorance. Some people think they will get HIV simply by touching someone who's HIV positive. Some people judge those with HIV because of how the virus is passed from one person to another. Stigma from the inside feels like shame, fear, and guilt. It comes from taking other people's sharp judgments to heart. Fighting stigma is hard and starts from the inside by learning as much as you can and finding support to build you up. When fighting stigma, it helps to have the loving patience of family and friends. It also helps to have support from others. Many HIV clinics have support groups and classes. If you think you are being unfairly treated due to your HIV, whether at work, by a landlord, or in your medical care, you may have the law on your side. Many areas have laws that protect people living with HIV from discrimination in housing, work, or getting care. Your clinic is a good place to start finding out about laws that protect you.